This is UKAD stepping in. It was a voluntary one last summer. This is UK anti-doping with their suspension. And as far as I know, they operate with World Anti-Doping, with WADA, which would suggest that his plans to maybe fight outside the UK would be made far more difficult on that basis.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, I saw that UKAD have now stepped in and they are talking about a possible 2-year ban for Conor Benn. They're obviously not happy. I know that Conor Benn was talking about yesterday that he was in touch with them. He was speaking to them. They're obviously not happy with the evidence that Conor's provided and therefore are looking at giving him a ban. And that will go, worldwide because they're in touch with WADA as well. And that's the situation. That's where we're at right now.
Yeah. I mean, as I said, they were still actively talking about other... We kept hearing about... There was Pacquiao and another Eubank fight. Looked like it could be on. They were looking at different venues around the world, but that would appear dead in the water now, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think because Conor relinquished his British Boxing Board of Control licence before receiving any sort of ban, and he said he had that 270-page dossier, which he's not presented to anybody. So I don't know why he's done that. I think that this is the time, if he's got the evidence there to prove his innocence, this is the time that he needs to present that evidence if he wants to prevent himself from getting a ban, because as it stands, I think that UKAD have jumped in, WADA have jumped in, and that will stop him boxing anywhere globally. It looks likely that he will receive a 2-year ban unless he does something about that now. But like I say, he was talking to UKAD, so perhaps he's not got the evidence that he needs to prevent that. So, yeah, he could be looking at a couple-of-year ban.
Yeah, wow.
It's so disappointing, isn't it, Spencer? Because he seemed like such a good fighter, like aggression, strength, great shots. And you just shake your head and say, why, don't you?
Absolutely. Do you know what? He was like a chip off the old block. He was like his old man, and he was developing so well as a fighter, Conor. When he first started, I wasn't sure how far he was going to go. And over the last couple of years, he's improved, he's developed, and he looked world class. And then this news broke, and it was disappointing to me, and it was disappointing to the boxing world, because we all wanted Conor to go on and have a great career and go on and collect world titles and emulate what his dad had achieved in the ring. But there's no place for drug cheats in the sport, and they deserve what they get. And unfortunately, Conor's failed 2 tests, not 1, 2 tests. He's had the chance to present his evidence to clear his name, and that's still not happened. So, the right thing's being done at the moment, as far as I'm concerned, because we're in a sport where it is dangerous. People do get harmed and people even lose their lives. So we've got to be on a level playing field, and that's why. Look, I nearly lost my life in the ring, so I'm quite passionate about it, and I want everybody to be equal, everybody to be fair, and there's no place for drug cheats in the sport. And I think that if Conor does get the ban, hopefully it shows the way for future fighters coming through to say, listen, it's not acceptable. You can't do it. Let's just do the right thing. And we want the sport to be drug free. We want it to be clean.
There's 2 approaches often when this sort of thing happens. So there is a kind of mea culpa where the person says, I don't know how this got in my system. I didn't take it, but clearly it is in my system and I have to take the consequences. But the approach that Conor has taken, we saw him on the Piers Morgan interview, he just said, I didn't do this. This is wrong. This is a mistake. But as you've said, it has to really supply the evidence to show that. And the other thing is, of course, I'm just wondering when the ban kicked in. Was it from the point the British Boxing Board of Control said he couldn't fight, or is it 2 years from now, or is it 2 years from 6 months ago? Because he's ultimately going to be eyeing when he can return to the ring, whether that's 2020, late 2024 or early 25.
Yeah, listen, guys, I'm unsure of that, when that ban will kick in from. And, I think that it may kick in as from now, because this is when he's been banned, because, like I say, that they've been investigating it, but no one's really done anything about it. And do you know what? It is such a shame, because... we all wanted Conor to be doing what he does best in the ring. But obviously this situation has occurred and you've got to be responsible for your actions. You talk about there, Conor, I know that Conor said, he's not been guilty and it was contamination of the labs, etc. But you have to be, look, the Boxing Board of Control rules are you're responsible for what goes into your body.
Absolutely.
So next explanation for that, then you're going to get banned. And unfortunately, Conor hasn't got an explanation for it. It's okay saying, well, I didn't do it. that's a natural reaction. Of course, fighters are going to say that, but then prove it. If you didn't do it, prove it. And if you can't prove it, unfortunately, you got to take the ban, and that's the way it is.
Thanks, Spencer. Good to talk to you.
Spencer.
Thanks very much.